How's it going, everybody? Nick Daniels here yet again, bringing you folks another video. Actually just in the same session. I literally just went in and used the washroom and we're back out, but just without the dogs. So I want to talk about Guild Wars 2 today. Again, in my last video I discussed that I thought about actually making like some kind of tutorial videos for it, and I kind of want to branch on that a little bit more and kind of actually just talk to you guys why the hell I even picked the game. Like, why would I play it? So just a little background here. I used to play MMOs, which are like, you know, your big online games, right? Like World of Warcraft or Star Wars Republic, or in this case Guild Wars 2. I used to play games like that years ago. Like, we're talking, I would say probably like 9 years ago ish, something like that. Anyway, like when I played them back then, I played on a laptop that honestly could not handle the games. Like even like the really lower graphic ones, it really couldn't handle them, and it struggled, and it really dimmed the experience, but I still played anyway. And like I got into like the endless grinding. I didn't get so much into like more end game content, but just, you know, again, trying to get characters up to that level and, you know, trying to gear them out, whatever. And you know, I thought it was fun. But the first one I really played was one called Shia, and they didn't really have much of like a quest or a story or anything. And it was really just PvP focused. It was free to play, which was nice. But again, it was like, it very much catered to somebody who paid money and they could like buy things online, or like items. It gave like them complete advantages over other people, and you could earn it through the game currency, but that was a lot of work. Then a couple years ago, several years ago anyway, I picked up another one. It was called Star Wars. Yeah, this one was Star Wars Old Republic, and in my opinion, that was like, oh my god, man, it was like 10 times fucking better than that other one. Like, it looked better. It actually had a story, like your character actually went through like an interactive story. And I felt like there was like, I don't know, I wouldn't say like, they're obviously not character development, but you could pick where your character was going to be. Like, you could be like a Sith but still be a good player, and you could be a Jedi and be an asshole. And you had options of like killing people like mercilessly, or like, you know, yeah, without mercy. That's what I was trying to say. And it was a good time. But a couple things about the Old Republic, like, I guess I used to play before they had what they called now is the cartel market. So the cartel market is basically their microtransactions, where you can come in, you can buy like cosmetics and character unlocks, or, you know, whatever. And I played before that existed, and when the max level was only like 50, and of course now I think it's like 70, I think. And yeah, and I really enjoyed it back then, and then I came back. I came back to it, I think, like a year ago. Could be wrong, could be something like that, but I think it was about a year ago. I came back into it, and I started playing, and I got like a bunch of characters up to the max level. Like, we're talking 70. And you know, and actually in no time at all, like, I found the leveling was way too quick and easy. Coming back to it, like, they made some changes that, you know, you got like all this bonus experience, and I was like, man, like, this was done in a pinch, right? And I really enjoyed the time playing, and like I felt like it was a good game. It was enjoyable, and I did do a little bit of PvPing in it, which I don't always do in MMOs. But I did do a little bit in there, and I actually kind of enjoyed it. But one of the things about the game is I wouldn't say it looks like too cartoony. But if you play Star Wars Old Republic, you'll get what I mean. It's just got a different look to it, but it's fine. Like, it doesn't look bad. And of course, being futuristic and everything, I think it's fine. And it, you know, obviously I'm not gonna rip the game apart or tell you every little specification about it. But the one thing I always found, it was kind of stiff when you're playing. It's kind of stiff. Like, your character, like, I don't know, you don't really need to move around a whole lot. I mean, you are going to move, but even when you're doing like attacking or whatever, like, even some of the character classes are literally like sit in one spot and just shoot. And I didn't mind that, but I wasn't too crazy about it, I guess. But then I played Guild Wars 2. So I played Guild Wars 2 about 3 weeks ago. And again, it's been quite a while since I've played an MMO. It actually quite have been well over I think it's definitely been well over a year. Probably, I would actually say at least a year and a half to 2 years. Probably, that it's been since I've actually tackled an MMO and got a little serious when playing it, right? Not just like kind of casually played it for 2 days and then just stopped again. But one thing, really the one thing that I didn't like about Star Wars Old Republic is its model is you have to pay a monthly fee, right? So you're paying a recurring payment of anywhere from like $12 to $15 a month, depending on how much in advance you pay for. And I don't like that, because like as soon as I didn't play it for a day or two, I felt like I was missing my time, right? Like I lost my time of paying for it, right? Like I'm paying this money per month, and I'm not even on enough to get my money's worth. And they introduced the free-to-play model, but they limited you so much that I don't feel it's worth it. So obviously we're not playing that anymore. And I feel that the game is quite empty, to be honest, when playing it. So again, I just out of curiosity, I tried World of Warcraft, and I tried Guild Wars 2. I tried Guild Wars 2 first. And I have tried like Aeon and Terra, which I think you can both play for free, I think, to a certain point. I didn't really get into those two, but they look nice, right? They do feel nice, but it wasn't, I don't know, they just didn't gel. Like, you know, I wasn't too crazy about it right away. So yes, like I said, I tried Guild Wars 2 first, free-to-play account. Don't know what I'm getting into, by the way, either. I haven't like really looked at it or anything. And yeah, like I said, I log in, and I'm like, there's like a couple races I can pick, a couple classes. I like the look of the game already, and the character creation is sublime. Like, not only like saying that, but like literally the graphics, like in the character select, my character looks really good. Like, you know, male or female, like there's like a good amount of detail in there, and there also seems to be a good amount of character creation available. So okay, I'm game. So I'll go with like the basic. I go with like a warrior, right? Like the class you're gonna run in with a sword and attack, and you can probably solo a lot, because that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna join a guild. I'm gonna just sit by myself and play my heart out. And I start getting into the game, and you know, and I don't really know what's going on right away, I'll be honest. Like, I'm very confused. I have no idea what the fuck's happening, but I'm figuring out a couple things, and I'm playing along. And then, you know, I kind of stopped playing, and I went to World of Warcraft for a few minutes. I wanted to see what that was all about, because apparently they have a free-to-play model, I think up to like level 20. I think that's what I heard. And I'm going to tell you right out, when I got to the character creation, I didn't like the look of it. It's weird. Like, maybe I did it in the wrong order, but I went to Guild Wars 2 first, and it just looked really aesthetically pleasing, right? And when I went to World of Warcraft, the character creation was like the opposite. I mean, World of Warcraft's a lot older, which makes more sense, and it just looked really blocky. So I honestly was kind of turned off. I was like, no, this isn't. I'm gonna go back to Guild Wars, try it again, right? I think Guild Wars I might try playing. Like, I mean, I don't know. And when I actually started using the combat and getting like into it for a few hours, and actually like trying, I didn't get very far in levels either, right? I only got to several levels, but I found the combat was like super dynamic. Like, even fighting like just NPCs, like it's not even like other players. I was moving around constantly, and so were the NPCs. Like, they're rolling and dodging you, and you're doing the same thing. And even like in your character attacks, like, you're not just sitting in one spot, right? And I really like the idea. Like, it's not necessarily there's something called tanking, which is where like one character necessarily will like take all kinds of damage from multiple enemies, and like you'd have like a couple other people, and they could like kill them all off, so you killed multiple people at once. That's kind of how Shia worked, because again, you had no quest, so you just had to kill as many enemies at once as possible, right, to get experience. This is the opposite, man. Like, there's so fucking much, and I instantly like didn't mind paying for it, because it's a one-time purchase. So I pay for it. I get the expansions like $40 or whatever it was, $40-50, and I get the expansions. And again, I thought I actually got more with that content, but at first I didn't realize what I was actually getting. I thought I was ripped off at first. I actually was going to get a refund. I was really not that pleased. I thought it was like, oh my god, like, it's going to tell you got all this stuff unlocked, but I was like, I didn't really get what I unlocked right away. And now that I've played for about a little over 3 weeks, I've got 2 characters to the max level. One I actually did level all the way, and one I leveled to 30, and then I actually was given like these unlock tokens, and I did use one. I feel kind of bad about that, actually. I should have played all the way, but I am doing that from now on. And the map alone, to find everything in the map, and like, you're rewarded for these little fucking things, which is amazing. This is one reason I love this MMO, because it's not like, oh, there's no reason to walk around the map and look. It's like the crafting system is great. It gives you a reason to walk around the map and look and try to mine these things. Everything you do gives you experience. If you mine something, you get experience. If you build it, you get experience. If you kill something, you get experience. If you do a mission, you get experience. If you explore an entire area of a map, you get experience and items. And then the so basically your auction house, your trading post, it again is really nice, and I love the system, because you don't actually have to go on there and buy something for a set price. But you can actually set a price of an item you're looking for to buy at, and someone can either sell it to you at that price, right? So if something is in there for like 10 silver and you're like, ah, fuck, I don't want to pay 10 silver, you can just put, I'll buy one for 5. And you can literally leave that there until someone does sell it to you for 5. And it took me a while to figure this stuff out. That's why I was thinking about making like a tutorial video, because if someone's newer to the game, they're going to be right where I was at. So maybe I can help them out, right? Because again, when I read comments on videos for Guild Wars 2, because I do watch some, I mean, helping myself out, and there's people saying like, hey, I'm just going to start here in 2019, but I don't know anything about the game. And I said, I responded to one guy, and I'm like, that's the reason I picked it, is because I don't know anything about this game, and I have to still learn the mechanics, and there's so fucking much to learn. It's not even funny. Like every character class doesn't even just use like 1 or 2 weapons. Like you switch it up entirely. So like for example, my warrior can use a rifle, which gets its own slot of skills, right, and abilities. And then I can use like 2 swords, which get their own abilities. But then I can use a sword and an axe, and then I'll get 2 sword abilities, and then say 3 axe abilities, depending on if it's in my right or left hand. So then if I switch, I'll get 2 axe abilities and 3 sword abilities, right? And then same as if you go like 2 axes, you'll get all the axe skills available. If you use a greatsword or a spear, or you can do underwater combat, which is amazing. You can actually do underwater combat, and you get multiple weapons when you go underwater, right? You can switch between like a spear gun or, you know, like an actual like spear trident, right, and hit people. And I love that ability. And then each character, so say again my warrior, this fighter, whatever you want to call it, you get like your specializations, which then drop down and they give you like I would say like traits, right? So for example, like I get bonus damage when I have 2 axes. So you would probably want to use that while you're selecting axes. But then in mid-combat, you actually get the ability to switch to an alternate weapon. So I can literally do a combo, right? I can do this combo that's like killer, right? Do tons of damage. And then everything's recharging. I can literally just go boop, and I can swap to my greatsword, and it's got all its skills available, and I can just start hitting them with the greatsword. Right? And then it's crazy, right? And that's why, at the end of the day, I love this game. I really do. There's so much in there. I actually did join a guild. It's called Organized Noobs. I think it's actually really funny. And the guild is really helpful, and it's really nice because there's a lot of people out there that are like myself that have just started, and we're still learning. And it's really good because I've actually been able to help people out that join in there, and we get in like into a call, and I can actually start talking to people and telling them like, hey man, here's how I did this, and you know, here's how you do this. And it's cool because actually everybody seems very thankful. Honestly, I like the game, and I'm very much enjoying it, and I don't know what else to say besides that, because this video would be way too long. But I am thinking about making a couple tutorial videos and just kind of try them out and see if anybody watches them. If they get like 1 view, then I mean, I probably won't make any more. But I kind of do want to make them, and I just want to see, like, maybe if somebody wants to watch it and they're starting in 2019, maybe that's a video that they would watch, and they'd be like, hey, this is really helpful. Because they're starting the game and they're trying to figure out the system, which is what I had to do on my own, and it's very complicated because you don't know what the hell's going on. But if someone was there to teach you and you can watch that and you're like, man, this is very informative, there you go. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. You might see those videos coming out next. I'm not too sure yet. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.